Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hello. Angie B can't be with us today. Let me go through these messages. Northern Beans in the house. Welcome, Northern. Steph, thanks for hitting that like button. Thanks for being here. Kyle says, hey, I have a dang work webinar about to start, but I will be lurking in the bushes. Well, whether you're replaying this or if you're here for the live, this is going to be an interesting live. Hello, Janine. Good to see you. Good to see you, Melissa B. Trickle in, guys. Trickle in. Hello, jammers. Good afternoon. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Welcome back to J is for Justice. My name's Jay. I'm your host. And whether you're replaying this or enjoying it live, today's case is Trenton Duckett. So if you guys aren't familiar, I will give you some background in just a minute here. Hey, Evelyn. And then we will get into News 6 here in Orlando did a 4-part series, and we're going to walk through that. And then I've got the lawsuit against Nancy Grace. I've got some old clips from that. What was that noise? Did y'all hear that? That was weird. Megan May, welcome in. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to give you a little background on the case. On August 27th of 2006, a young mother named Melinda Duckett called 911 from her home in Leesburg, Florida. Leesburg is the home of the Villages, if you're not aware. Yeah, did you guys hear that noise? Like, was that music or what was that? Hey, Sharon. Hey, Sharon from Indiana. Sophia, good to see you. This little boy right here has never been found. And this case kind of eerily reminds me of other cases we followed that are more current. And that's why I like doing case rewinds, not only because this one is unsolved, but because we see similarities in other cases. For example, Quentin Simon. This case holds similarities close to that. Even Sebastian Rogers, you can find similarities. So I think it's interesting to see how it all went down. But this case also involves lawsuits. Nancy Grace, CNN were sued over this case. But that's little Trenton Duckett. He was 2 years old when his mother called 911. Melinda Duckett was 20 years old. She was 20, very young. Now, when this happened in 2006, that was a long time ago, right? Like, I didn't think of her as being so young then, but she was only 20 years old. She told the dispatcher that her son Trenton had vanished from his bedroom while she was watching a movie with friends. She said he was ready for bed. He might have his shoes and shirt off. He had on a pair of jeans, and he's only 2 years old. Police discovered that the screen in Trenton's bedroom window had been cut. But when you see pictures of it, the blinds came down to a certain level. And that is like where it was open is where the cut was. And no human being could have fit through there. Right? Like no adult. They're still actively searching for him. So his biological father's family still thinks there's a chance that little Trenton could still be out there. Because Melinda Duckett was the prime suspect in the case. But she was never arrested. So they had her on sites, right? And they didn't arrest her. They were trying to gather more evidence. So she went on Nancy Grace, which we see a lot of parents of missing kids go on Nancy Grace. She went on Nancy Grace. The next day, she committed suicide. She wrote a two-page letter addressed to the public. In the note, she expressed her love for Trenton, and complained about being treated with ridicule and criticism. She left the note on the dashboard of her vehicle. She was found dead in her grandmother's house in the Villages in Leesburg. Ribbit Hop, thank you for talking about him. I used to write with his grandparents. Oh, wow. On Josh's side, I imagine. Yeah, it's a tragic story, guys. It's awful. So this, let's see. 24. So this is 5 years ago. Trenton would now be how old? 20? Hey, Music City Mom. Good to see you. Thank you for subscribing, Carla. Hey, Catherine. Anybody else that I miss? Oh, on Melinda's side. Interesting. Wow. Yeah. Hey, Callie. Welcome in. All right. Well, let's get into this. This is from News 6. Let me see. I can't remember the call letters. WKMG News 6 Orlando. They have done something every year on this little boy. Like the locals have not forgotten about this little boy. I know. 2006. So let's get into it. They're going to break it down. And thank you for being here, guys. If you could hit the like button, greatly appreciated. You guys don't have audio yet. Hold on. Let me fix that. Sorry about that.
Hi, what is Trenton wearing, honey? I don't know. He was ready for bed.
A young mother reports an unimaginable crime, the kidnapping of her son, 2-year-old Trenton Duckett. Someone cut through this window screen and opened a bedroom window where the toddler had been sleeping. Now he was gone.
You don't know what you dressed him in before you went to bed? He might have had his shoes off.
That chilling phone call was made from this very apartment back in 2006. Nearly 2 decades later, people in this community are still asking, where's Trenton? He's never been found. This is what Trenton Duckett looked like when he vanished. And this is what Trenton Duckett might look like today as a young adult. Some people, including his family, are still holding out hope that he could be alive.
17 days into the search for Trenton Duckett, and fatigue is starting to set in.
I was working as a TV news reporter in Central Florida when Trenton disappeared. To this day, it remains one of the most intriguing mysteries of my career. Digging through some of my old case files, reviewing hours of video footage stored on beta tapes, and talking with the missing boy's family, I'm going to take you inside the investigation, starting from the moment police first learned about the disappearance.
Hi, Sin.
We're hoping that anybody with any information is going to give us a call. We definitely want to get Trenton home.
The initial details were frightening. In Leesburg, Florida, about 40 miles northwest of Orlando, Trenton Duckett was reported kidnapped from the apartment he shared with his mother, Melinda Duckett.
I can't even start to begin to imagine what kind of person would do something like that to begin with.
Melinda told police her son had been abducted from his bedroom while she was in an adjoining room watching TV with some friends.
And how long has he been gone? You don't know?
Watching a movie that was 2 hours long. I checked on him before anyone came down to the house.
Okay.
Melinda never told the 911 dispatcher the name of anyone who might have kidnapped her son, but the mother did make this vague statement.
I know he freaking did it.
I know he freaking did it. Melinda does not immediately say who he is, but suspicion would soon fall on Melinda's estranged husband,
Josh.
Trenton's father, Josh Duckett. The couple was separated and going through a very ugly divorce.
Obviously, we were looking at Josh very early on.
Just weeks before her son disappeared, Melinda came here to the Lake County Courthouse where she filed for a restraining order against Josh.
Pretty crazy. Let's stop right there for a second. Do you see any similarities to things like custody battles, divorces, filing restraining orders? Then the kid goes missing. And then guess what? Josh Duckett was their number one suspect. And guess what? He wasn't even there.
Claiming she and Trenton were in danger. As evidence, Melinda showed the judge this printout from the social media website MySpace. The message, which appeared to have been written by Josh, said, quote, "I hate you because you ruined my life and took my son.
He didn't do this.
I'm going to hunt you and your damn son down one day and kill both of you. I want to put you through torture. I'll bury your son with you."
I had a lot of fingers pointed at me and stuff like that.
Police immediately questioned Josh Duckett. Why did you write that threatening email to Melinda?
Didn't do it.
I recently caught up with Josh nearly two
Poor
decades
guy.
after his son disappeared. Josh told me the same thing he told detectives back then. He is not the author of that message.
I did not send the email.
According to police, Josh is telling the truth. Detectives quickly discovered Melinda had logged into Josh's MySpace account.
When they looked at it, they found that she had been connected to the IP address at her grandparents' house. When she typed the email, sent it to my MySpace, and then sent it from MySpace on my page back to herself.
Did you hear that shit? That's how conniving she was.
At that point, Leesburg police here could have taken Melinda Duckett into custody. Detectives secretly drafted this arrest warrant accusing the mother of computer crimes and perjury. But investigators made the strategic decision to remain quiet about what they knew and allowed Melinda to remain free in hopes that she would help them find Trenton.
All we want is him to come back and safe and sound, as obviously quickly as possible.
Melinda told one of my colleagues she was trying to remain positive that her son would be found.
There's no other way to think about that. And eventually we are going to get him back no matter what.
Josh also stood in front of cameras begging for his son's safe return.
Just keep your hopes high. I mean, we're still looking for Trenton. That's our main focus, is to look for Trenton.
As search teams scoured woods and swamps in search of the missing boy, investigators questioned sex offenders living near this apartment complex here where Trenton was reported kidnapped. But detectives also focused on the 2-year-old's parents.
We have reports of where Trenton was. We want to get confirmation of where Trenton was.
During this news conference, police displayed photos of Josh and Melinda and asked the public to help verify their whereabouts in the hours before Trenton disappeared. Josh stood behind police during that news conference. Melinda was noticeably absent.
I've given my whole story. I've cooperated. Everything that I'd been doing, they've checked it out, and so far they're satisfied with what they found.
What do you guys think so far? Melinda, I know, it's total Lilani vibes. She did. She threw out, yeah, they're going to get to that. She did throw out the baby's toys, Mother's Day card, a Beanie Baby. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
Immediately after that police news conference, I called Melinda on the phone. She agreed to meet me here at the Venetian Gardens Park in Leesburg, where she had celebrated Trenton's 2nd birthday just a few weeks earlier. As I glanced through photos of Trenton that Melinda brought me, we started to chat.
Watch where they're
You were
sitting.
with him all day Saturday and all day Sunday?
Right. I had stopped down at family houses and stuff like that, but yes.
I asked Melinda about her missing son, but the conversation kept shifting back to her.
I go into the grocery store and people recognize me in there. It's absolutely bizarre.
I'm sure you know, I mean, a lot of people are questioning whether you had something to do with this.
Oh, I understand that. I do.
Could you harm your own child?
No.
Then I asked Melinda how her son's abductor should be punished.
Listen to this.
If someone does something to your family, I mean, why wouldn't you want something to happen to them to go to jail or something like that? Or I don't care. I just want my life to go back to normal.
And that's when our interview abruptly.
Ooh, bing bong. That's like a huge question that investigators ask, right? Like, what, or interviewers or whatever, what would you want to happen to the person that took your son? And, you know, a person who's not guilty will most likely say, like, the worst of the worst, right? Like death penalty, or They should never see the light of day again. And this girl says, listen again.
If someone does something to your family, I mean, why wouldn't you want something to happen to them to go to jail or something like that? Or I don't care. I just want my life to go back to normal.
I don't care.
And that's when our interview abruptly came to an end. But 2 days later, Melinda would appear on TV once again.
Where were you? Why aren't you telling us where you were that day? You were the last person to be seen with him.
CNN talk show host Nancy Grace invited Melinda to phone into her program.
Just shopping, going around, driving.
Shopping where?
Well, we didn't go anywhere specific.
Well, I mean, if you went shopping, you had to go into a store. What store did you go into?
I wasn't getting any specifics.
The day after this Nancy Grace interview was taped, but before it actually aired on TV, authorities were called to the home of Melinda's grandparents in the Villages. That's where they found Melinda Duckett dead.
It is still very early in the death investigation, but initial observations indicate the death was from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
At the time, Josh was at the police station.
And they said, we have to tell you something. And I remember looking dead at him and saying, she killed herself, didn't she? And they said, yes.
Josh remains frustrated that law enforcement did not arrest Melinda when they had the chance.
Hey, Kelsey, my girl. She said, I remember this. I lived where Josh did. His truck was covered in so many missing kids flyers. That's so sad. So sad. But yeah, they had enough to arrest her on some charges like computer crime. I can't remember what else they said. But they wanted her to eventually, they wanted to figure out where the baby was.
She was the only suspect, and a lot of answers went with her.
But Melinda's suicide did not stop police here from trying to find Trenton. Far from it. In fact, the missing child case is still open. Some remain hopeful that Trenton Duckett could still be alive. This age-progressed photo shows what he might look like today as a young adult. Now, others are skeptical, but still want his body found so this mystery can be brought to an end. Next on Where's Trenton, we'll show you the suspicious items detectives found in a dumpster outside Melinda Duckett's apartment.
Wow, look at the phone. Thank you, Sophia, for being a member for 5 months. Thank you for your support. Justice for all the missing children. Look at this, guys. This is Trenton stuff that she threw out.
Suspicious items detectives found in a dumpster outside.
His baby pictures with this sonogram picture. Dude, these poor babies. Look at that precious little baby. I can't.
Outside Melinda Duckett's apartment, and you'll see how police use cell phone records to retrace the mother's movements in the hours before she reported her son missing.
And another thing too, remember in 2006, they could actually trace people. Imagine what we're going to see in like the Koberger case.
This was a very bad situation for everybody. It was like a nightmare that just didn't go away.
Mourners arrived at this Florida church in 2006 where a funeral was being held for Melinda Duckett. The young mother committed suicide less than 2 weeks after reporting the disappearance of her son Trenton.
Hello. Hi. What is Trenton wearing, honey? I don't know. He was ready for bed.
Melinda told a 911 dispatcher someone had kidnapped the 2-year-old from their apartment while she was in an adjoining room. The screen covering Trenton's bedroom window had been sliced open.
You don't know what you dressed him in before you went to bed? He might have had his shoes off.
All we want is him to come back and safe and sound, obviously quickly as possible.
Nearly 2 decades later, the child has never been found, prompting the question, where's Trenton? On the night he disappeared, police looked all over this apartment complex here for anyone who may have witnessed the abduction. Soon, lead detective Rich Giles would arrive to begin the investigation.
Here's the lead investigator now.
I made a promise early on, which is really taboo for a police detective or a police officer to do. You never promise the family of a victim that you're going to find their child.
I spoke with Giles in 2009, shortly after he retired from the Leesburg Police Department. The detective could never determine whether Trenton's bedroom window screen was cut from the inside or outside, But as this crime scene photo shows, the window pane and mini blinds are open only a few inches. Police say that opening is the same size as the slit in the window screen. And
see that? Thank you so much, Mia, for your support. Thank you for being a member for 3 months. Great stream. It's a first for me. Thank you so much for being here. This is how the blinds were up. The cut was only like, it was like, sliced. They couldn't determine whether it was inside or outside. But that small of a cut, give me a break, lady.
And is way too small for an adult to fit through.
It appeared like it was a staged crime scene.
Also, notice these pillows on the toddler's bed. The day after this crime scene photo was taken, detectives found one of those pillows inside a dumpster.
That pillow and only that pillow off of his bed was thrown in the trash. It was thrown in the trash after the search warrant.
And that's not all police found inside this very dumpster here in front of Melinda's apartment. Also in the trash, Trenton's first birthday card, a box filled with his toys, and Trenton's baby pictures, including a sonogram image. But while police were suspicious of the mother, they did not immediately rule out the boy's father, Josh Duckett, who was Melinda's estranged husband.
The possibility of Joshua's involvement is probably here on the scale, and the possibility of the outside abduction is here on the scale, and the possibility of Melinda's involvement is up higher on the scale.
Oh my God. I would love for Sheriff Craddock to do that exact same thing right there. Tell us, Craddock. Come on, Craddock. Wouldn't you love to see Craddock just do this and tell us? Doot, doot, doot. I do.
Possibility of Joshua's involvement is probably here on the scale, and the possibility of the outside abduction is here on the scale, and the possibility of Melinda's involvement is up higher on the scale.
These stacks of records from the Florida Department of Children and Families detail a rocky relationship between Melinda and Josh Duckett.
Neither of us had really lived life. We didn't really know what we were doing or what we were getting into.
Josh and Melinda were just 19 years old when they brought Trenton home from the hospital.
Wow.
So we were released the day that Hurricane Charlie came through. And it was like we were released to drive home in the storm.
The couple later married, but things just did not work out. They were separated throughout much of Trenton's first 2 years of life. Josh and Melinda each accused each other of abusing Trenton, but investigators with the Florida Department of Children and Families say they never found any physical evidence indicating that the child was being harmed. Meanwhile, custody of Trenton bounced from family member to family member.
Sounds a lot like Quentin, right? Being bounced around, the babysitter, the grandma, whomever, Leilani.
It was just a whole lot of back and forth.
Unbeknownst to Josh, Melinda had reportedly been searching for a hitman. Police records released years later
I forgot about
the target
this.
was her husband.
And it was just like, wow, this is how in-depth this whole thing is.
Whoa, she was looking into hitmen.
She was trying to hire someone to kill me.
After his son's disappearance, Josh Duckett voluntarily came down here to the police station to take a polygraph examination, which Leesburg police confirm he passed. Melinda Duckett refused to take a lie detector, reportedly at the advice of her attorney.
Oh, there's the big bing bong. So we got the father going down to the police department saying, give me a poly. We got the mom not doing it. Yeah, she was seeking a hitman. Listen to that again.
We've been searching for a hitman. Police records released years later show the target was her husband.
And it was just like, wow, this is how in-depth this whole thing is. She was trying to hire someone to kill me.
After his son's disappearance, Josh Duckett voluntarily came down here to the police station to take a polygraph examination, which Leesburg police confirm he passed. Melinda Duckett refused to take a lie detector, reportedly at the advice of her attorney. But the mother did agree to a voice stress analysis. According to police, that test indicated possible deception when Melinda was asked, did you make up the story about Trenton being taken?
Could you harm your own child?
No.
I spoke with Melinda 3 days before she committed suicide. I wanted to ask her about a very unusual post she made on the social media website MySpace shortly after her son's disappearance. It read, Machiavelli Vigilante. Machiavelli was a 15th century philosopher who's often associated with the concept, the ends justify the means. A vigilante.
Yikes. Now we've got little clues, little cryptic things on social media, but she gives a different description of what it means.
Is someone who takes the law into their own hands. Melinda had a different definition.
Well, a Machiavellian, from what I had learned in school, is someone that, pushes through, does whatever it takes to get, their goals or dreams or anything, done. Vigilante is someone who, just like Robin Hood, does the right over the wrong.
Again, Melinda wrote that on her MySpace
I'm not
page
buying it.
after her son disappeared. But that was not the only thing baffling to detectives. They wanted to know exactly where Melinda and Trenton were in the hours leading up to his disappearance.
This is crazy.
She was not forthcoming or overly cooperative.
Melinda told investigators she and the toddler spent the day driving around Central Florida in her Mitsubishi Eclipse, at one point stopping by her grandparents' house, but she claims they were not at home. Melinda says she and Trenton then traveled to the Altamont Mall in neighboring Seminole County.
All lies.
Police later checked mall security cameras, but could not confirm the mother and child had been there. Melinda claimed they then got lost and ended up in downtown Orlando near the former TD Waterhouse Center Arena before returning home to Leesburg.
You were with him all day Saturday and all day Sunday?
Right. I had stopped down at family houses and stuff like that, but yes.
Detectives say Melinda's story simply does not match the evidence. Witness statements, ATM records, and cell phone tower data tell a different version.
Okay, so check this out. She said, we just went to Altamont Mall or whatever. Listen to all the places that this woman was. This is probably why they haven't found him.
Melinda Duckett was seen in a Leesburg store by herself without Trenton at 8 a.m. and then used a nearby ATM at 10:49 a.m. Cell phone pings placed the mother near Ocala, possibly around the Paddock Mall, around 12:08 p.m. It appears she then may have traveled south, with her cell phone pinging near Wildwood around 12:30 and then somewhere near Mineola around 12:45. At that point, Melinda's cell phone activity goes silent for nearly 3 hours. Her next cell phone ping would be near Tavares at 3:42 p.m. A short time later, around 4 o'clock, a witness claims to have seen Melinda back at her Leesburg apartment, again without Trenton. Melinda told police she put Trenton to bed in his room here around 6:45. About 15 minutes later, two of Melinda's friends showed up at the apartment to watch movies. They say they never saw Trenton that night. Around 9 o'clock, one of those friends called 911 after Melinda claims she discovered her son was missing from his room.
And how long has he been gone? You don't know?
Detective Giles was preparing to confront Melinda about her inconsistent stories.
We took a huge copy of the timeline of all of her cell phone activity, her travels that were confirmed, and we taped it all along the wall.
That's when an FBI agent's cell phone began to ring.
And he became extremely, distraught, upset, slammed his phone down, and he goes, she killed herself.
Melinda's suicide inside her grandparents' home was a major setback. But the missing child investigation was only just beginning. While many assume Trenton is dead, either intentionally or by accident, there is no proof of that. Police have never found any blood or other evidence that conclusively shows Trenton was harmed.
See that? No proof of foul play, except him being missing. Ida Anthony says, good afternoon, Jay is for Justice. This is Dan and Ida from Emmett, Idaho. My birthday and anniversary are next Monday. Well, happy anniversary and happy early birthday to you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that.
There's nothing to indicate any sign of trauma has occurred, so nothing of that nature.
And that gives Trenton's dad hope his son might still be alive.
Until they can show me something else, there's nothing else to go on other than he's out there somewhere, and we have to continue to push the effort to try and find him.
This age-progressed photo shows what Trenton might look like now.
I want to pause this here. I mean, you just never know. You just never know. But imagine, hey, John Gone Girl. Kind of like baby Amia. I know, that poor baby. These poor babies. But, yeah, I mean, you just never know. He would be 20 now. Like 19 or 20, something around there.
As a young adult, the mystery of his disappearance has captivated the community, and it's been a source of intrigue for true crime enthusiasts. At the time Trenton vanished, social media was just in its infancy. In fact, iPhones had not yet even been invented.
That wild.
And we all get together on a daily basis, and we basically talk about Trenton. Where is he? Is he alive? Is he not?
Next on Where's Trenton, we'll show you how armchair cyber sleuths tried to solve the mystery of the toddler's disappearance.
Live at Team Trenton headquarters.
As a popular TV talk show host brought the case.
Ooh, it gets heated. It gets heated.
17 days into the search for Trenton Duckett, and fatigue is starting to set in.
When I began covering the disappearance of Trenton Duckett as a Central Florida TV reporter back in 2006, most people learned about the case by reading newspapers or watching the evening news.
Right now, we can go ahead and announce that Melinda Duckett is the prime suspect in the reported disappearance of Trenton.
Nowadays, when a child is kidnapped or disappears, we might get an Amber Alert on our smartphones. That was certainly not the case back then. iPhones had not yet been invented, and social media was just in its infancy. Yet it seemed like everywhere we went here in downtown Leesburg, people were asking, where's Trenton? That was also true among the armchair sleuths.
Here we go. You're going to see
The wife took the child.
You think the child's off?
Look at this lady. She's like, the wife took the child. Look at back in 2006, dude. They were straight up going in parking lots asking people's opinions. Could you imagine, like, in Sumner County, you know, Nick Barris being down at the local Piggly Wiggly saying, what do you think happened to Sebastian Rogers? This is wild. This doesn't happen anymore. Look at it. Everything seems so old, but it wasn't that long ago. It's so weird.
All right?
Yes, I do.
Most folks talked about Trenton's disappearance face to face.
They think the mother did it. I'm not sure.
It was certainly a hot topic at hair salons like this one in downtown Leesburg.
They're hoping that maybe he's just being hidden, possibly, that kind of thing. But I think everybody's got their own, worries and theories about what's going on right now.
But for a relatively small tech-savvy group, information about Trenton Duckett's disappearance was available online. Sites like Web Sleuths, U-Sleuths.
Web Sleuths. Shout out to Trisha over at Web Sleuths. There she is again, coming in as the OG queen of true crime. Just saying, don't doubt her, man. She knows her stuff.
Duckett's disappearance was available online. Sites like Web Sleuths, U-Sleuth, Crime Blog, Scared Monkeys, and Hot gave armchair detectives a forum to discuss the case with other true crime enthusiasts.
This is what we did before there was live chats. This is what we did. We went on message boards. I was right there, man. I was a member. I'm a member of Web Sleuths from way back when.
You become kind of a public figure at that point where literally everything you do is scrutinized.
Trenton's father, Josh Duckett, tells me he occasionally followed those early websites focused on his missing son's case. One day, a mysterious online poster using the screen name Mert claimed he had inside knowledge about Trenton's disappearance. Mert suggested that around the 12th of January, this was back in 2007, there would be a major break in the Duckett case. That morning, Mert posted this startling message addressed to Trenton's caretaker that read, "I now know why Melinda trusted you to take care of Trenton." Mert urged the captor to drop Trenton off at a hospital, saying, "If you need help, contact me. You know how."
And I feel things are coming about.
But you don't know that for a fact.
Not for a fact.
I tracked down Mert.
This is Mert. Thank you, Catherine B., for becoming a member. Welcome to the Clicker Club. Thank you for your support. I appreciate that.
Real name, William Murtaugh. The truck driver admitted having no ties to the Duckett investigation.
And we all get together on a daily basis, and we basically talk about Trenton. Where is he? Is he alive? Is he not?
Murtaugh said his internet postings falsely claiming to know Trenton's caretaker were just a misguided attempt to solve the case using what he called a psychology trick.
I lost a child at the age of 25, and I know what it's like for a father not to have a son. And I don't want Josh to go through that.
These so-called cyber sleuths discuss many theories about.
Can we talk about that? Because this kind of thing has compounded, right? Now we have tons of people in internet chats that have autistic children that relate on the Sebastian case. Like, there's always something that people are going to pull, certain people anyway, are going to pull from their own lives in order to, you know, affiliate with the victims in the cases, right? So we see it here. He made shit up in order to try to get them to, you know, slip up or come forward or whatnot. And it was all lies. And he's trying to use a psychology trick on the parents from behind a keyboard. We see this happening with the Green Team every day in the form of packets. Mert was in Sarah Boone's courtroom. Sarah Luna, are you serious? What? That's wild.
Is he not?
Murtaugh said his internet postings falsely claiming to know Trenton's caretaker were just a misguided attempt to solve the case using what he called a psychology trick.
I lost a child at the age of 25, and I know what it's like for a father not to have a son. And I don't want Josh to go through that.
These so-called cyber sleuths discussed many theories about Trenton Duckett's disappearance, including one involving Trenton's grandfather.
I did not feel that she was actually missing.
James Duckett, a former Mascot, Florida police officer, has been on Florida's death row since 1988 for the rape and murder of 11-year-old Teresa Maccabee.
I did not do this.
James, who is Josh's father, maintains his innocence.
Wow. He looks just like his dad. His dad. What?
Maccabee.
I did not do.
Mascot, Florida.
She was actually missing.
James Duckett, a former Mascot, Florida police officer, has been on Florida's death row since 1988.
Holy shit. Did Mert follow the Casey Anthony case? Does anybody know? And whose side was Mert on at the Sarah Boone? Right, Melissa? Dude, this shit's wild.
For the rape and murder of 11-year-old Teresa Maccabee.
I did not do this.
James, who is Josh's father, maintains his innocence. After his grandson Trenton vanished, detectives interviewed James on death row, but found no evidence of his involvement. Other internet discussions focused on pornographic videos Melinda Duckett made of herself and sold online.
Hi, I've got a special surprise for you.
Oh my God.
But again, police say they found no connection between those adult videos and Trenton's disappearance. As the missing child case was being dissected online.
Where were you? Why aren't you telling us where you were that day? You were the last person to be seen with him.
CNN talk show host Nancy Grace was bringing the case to a national audience.
Basically just shopping, going around, driving.
Shopping where?
Well, we didn't go anywhere specific.
Well, I mean, if you went shopping, you had to go into a store. What store did you go into?
I wasn't getting any specifics.
The day after this interview with Melinda was recorded, but before it actually aired on TV, Melinda killed herself inside her grandparents' home. Melinda's family later filed this lawsuit against Nancy Grace and CNN, claiming that confrontational interview drove the 21-year-old mother to suicide.
You look for somebody to blame. You look hard. I do not feel that our show is to blame for what happened to Melinda Duckett.
While defending the lawsuit, attorneys for CNN and Nancy Grace learned about this script that Melinda had written on her computer before the interview was taped. Now, they argue that this script, which is basically a list of talking points, proves that Melinda was well prepared for the questions Grace would ask her.
I'm hoping very much to reinvigorate the search for Trenton.
Shortly before the lawsuit was filed, Grace traveled to Leesburg,
Live at Team Trenton headquarters,
where she broadcast her show.
Hopefully, more tips will be coming into the tip line.
While critics say Grace's involvement in the case was done for TV ratings, Josh believes she genuinely wanted to help find Trenton.
To me, she's awesome. Love her to death to this day.
Melinda's family.
Hear that? He freaking loves Nancy to this day. Thank you, Callie. Thank you, Callie, for your super chat, and welcome in new members.
Josh believes she genuinely wanted to help find Trenton.
To me, she's awesome. Love her to death to this day.
Melinda's family later reached a settlement in the lawsuit, saying the parties now agree that Nancy Grace, the producers of her program, and CNN engaged in no intentional wrongdoing in the course of dedicating a program to finding the missing toddler. As part of that settlement, CNN agreed to pay $200,000 for the sole purpose of locating Trenton Duckett. That money was later given to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
So that turned out good. The money, $200,000, went to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Every few years, the nonprofit publishes a new age-progressed photo of Trenton. This is what he might look like today as a young adult. Could Trenton still be alive? Shortly after the toddler disappeared, a new witness came forward that seemed to turn the investigation upside down.
But for sure, she called him Trenton, and you guys discussed the name Trenton.
This witness raised the possibility that Melinda Duckett may have given her son away to someone else. Next on Where's Trenton, we explore the handoff theory.
All right, so here's the handoff theory where they think he could still be alive.
Discussed the name Trenton. Because I thought it was, my dad's name. Yeah.
This surprise witness, who came forward weeks after 2-year-old Trenton Duckett disappeared, was about to turn the missing child investigation upside down.
A woman who works at the drive-thru of this Bellevue Wendy's restaurant now says she saw Melinda Duckett and Trenton the morning he vanished.
I was working as a TV news reporter in Central Florida back in 2006 when Melinda Duckett claimed her son had been kidnapped.
I can't even start to begin to imagine what kind of person would do something like that to begin with.
Melinda told police that an abductor snatched her son out of his bedroom window here. But nearly 2 weeks.
That's the actual place, too, all these years later.
After reporting Trenton's disappearance, Melinda took her own life. Now, nearly 2 decades later, people are still asking, where's Trenton? Well, sadly, many believe he is probably dead.
What's up,
but
Clue?
There are some who are holding out hope that Trenton could still be alive, including his dad. If so, how could that be? Well, one possibility is the handoff theory.
There's nothing else to go on. Until they can show me something else, there's nothing else to go on other than he's out there somewhere, and we have to continue to push the effort to try and find him.
I recently caught up with Josh Duckett, who has not given up on finding his son alive. After all, detectives never found blood or other evidence confirming the toddler died.
Hello. Hi. What is Trenton wearing, honey? I don't know. He was ready for bed.
Now, it was shortly after Melinda reported her son's abduction that detectives started to question whether the boy was really kidnapped from his bedroom. Early on, Leesburg, Florida police here were open to the possibility that maybe Melinda gave Trenton away to someone else, possibly a family member or a friend. Officers here urged that person to drop the child off at a public place.
And I can't assure them of anything, but the longer they keep Trenton, if that's the case, the worse it's going to be.
When I spoke with Melinda days after Trenton's disappearance, she denied being responsible.
I'm sure you know, I mean, a lot of people are questioning whether you had something to do with this.
Oh, I understand that. I do.
Could you harm your own child?
No.
After Melinda killed herself inside her grandparents' home, police found several suicide notes. The suicide notes did not indicate Trenton was dead. Instead, Melinda suggested her son was still alive, writing, "Even after my baby is found, I would not be a good mother."
Obviously, we have to face the facts that, Trenton may be alive, but Trenton may be dead.
While Leesburg police were preparing the public for the worst possible outcome, across town, the Marion County Sheriff's Office launched its own parallel investigation based on the premise that the toddler was still alive.
It's been the theory of the Marion County Sheriff's Office that we believe that Trenton Duckett was handed off.
According to Marion County investigators, 2 employees of this Wendy's restaurant in Bellevue claim to have seen Trenton with his mom just hours before she reported him missing.
But for sure, she called him Trenton, and you guys discussed the name Trenton. Because I thought it was, yeah.
One of the fast food workers who passed a polygraph claims she served Melinda and Trenton here in the Wendy's drive-thru, at one point removing her drive-thru headset so she could hear the child's name.
Yeah, I thought she said Dad, and she said Trent, because I moved my ear, and I heard the T. And I thought, oh, that's nice.
That same Wendy's employee says Melinda returned to the drive-thru about 20 minutes later. That time, Trenton was no longer in the car.
It was possible during this time
I got goosebumps.
that she may have left that Wendy's and actually met someone to hand Trenton off.
If Melinda...
I got cold chills. I got cold chills on my arms and my legs. Whoa, that was weird. That doesn't happen to me too often. Oof. But why would she go through the Wendy's and then go back through the same Wendy's? Yeah, she took a polygraph, but she may believe she saw him, but I mean, Melinda's pretty unique looking.
It was possible during this time that she may have left that Wendy's and actually met someone to hand Trenton off.
If Melinda handed off the toddler, where was Trenton taken? Well, Marion County investigators had another theory. The agency looked into whether Trenton was brought here to Orlando International Airport and smuggled onto a plane, possibly bound for South Korea.
We do have certain individuals that stated that Melinda had talked about her roots and possibly sending little Trenton back to his roots.
Melinda was born in South Korea, but she was adopted by an American family when she was just a few months old. Melinda's parents say she had absolutely no ties to her native country.
We're working with Customs. We're issuing some subpoenas.
Chris Blair, who was later elected Marion County Sheriff and then resigned from office in controversy, admitted to me his agency had no solid proof Melinda sent her son overseas.
Did she have any contacts in Korea?
None specific that we're aware of at this time.
Back here in Leesburg, police absolutely discounted that handoff theory, saying the alleged sighting at the Wendy's just simply didn't match up with the timeline established by Melinda's cell phone records and other witness statements. Also, Leesburg police say none of Melinda's friends or...
I'd like to know if any of her pings were near that Wendy's, though, because that would be a coincidence, right? If like her, what's up, Clue? If her phone pinged near the Wendy's, like back in 2006, like how precise was it?
The friends of those friends ever boarded a plane around the time of Trenton's disappearance. Lead detective Rich Giles, who is now retired, is convinced the child is dead.
What do you think happened to Trenton Duckett?
I believe that Melinda killed him.
Detective Giles' personal opinion is that Trenton's mother took her son's life possibly an entire day before reporting him missing.
So you think whatever she did with Trenton probably happened near her apartment in Leesburg?
I'm thinking that what happened with Trenton happened at the apartment.
Officially, the Leesburg Police Department's investigation remains open.
Melinda Duckett is the prime suspect in the reported disappearance of Trenton.
Despite there being no evidence that Trenton Duckett is alive, there is also no evidence confirming he's dead. That gives Trenton's father hope that Melinda may have given their son away to somebody, even if it did not happen at that Bellevue Wendy's. If she handed him off, why did she do it?
Control. Her whole thing was controlling. She's still controlling my life, even though she's no longer here.
Josh believes Melinda's friends have not told detectives everything.
Ooh, did you hear that? What would her motive be? Control, he said. It's not jealousy, nothing else. He said control.
Control. Her whole thing was controlling. She's still controlling my life, even though she's no longer here.
Josh believes Melinda's friends have not told detectives everything they know about Trenton's disappearance. You think people are still holding back information?
I definitely think there's people out there that have information that's not saying, you know, and no matter what the outcome, we want answers.
Here at the Leesburg Police Department, an investigator remains assigned to the case to follow up on any leads, and Trenton's missing child poster is still hanging in the windows.
Wow.
Anyone with information about his disappearance is urged to call the Central Florida Crime Line at 1-800-423-TIPS.
Here, let me get rid of the captions. I want to keep this up here for a few minutes. Isn't this crazy? I've got some blasts from the past clips that we're going to play. It's very interesting, right? And how sad that this dad has to sit there. So the crazy part is, if you're joining late, like the dad, Josh, was number one suspect. The Melinda had gone down and got a restraining order. They were getting divorced. It was turmoil, right? So naturally, Josh was their main suspect. And then we find out that not only that, but she was looking for a hitman to take Josh out. Crazy. So what we've got here is a full news clip from, and you know what's wild? You guys are going to shit. Look at the creator. This is where, I mean, there are so many clips about this case. Look who it is. It says non-space sense. So 18 years ago, can you guys see that? Hold on. 18 years ago, there was another nonsense on the tubes calling out nonsense. Isn't that weird? Celts, thank you. 5 more members coming in hot from Kels. Thank you so much, Kels. Thank you. Isn't that wild, though? Nonsense. Nonsense. Calling out the nonsense 18 years ago. All right, here is Nancy Grace going to Leesburg.
Well, as we told you earlier, the national spotlight is back on the Trenton Duckett case with last night's live appearance from Leesburg of TV talk show host Nancy Grace. Now, Grace has faced a lot of criticism for the way she questioned the child's mother shortly before she committed suicide. West 2's Bob Keeling had questions of his own for Nancy Grace.
It was just a short time after getting a grilling on Nancy Grace's headline news show that Melinda Duckett committed suicide at her grandparents' home in the Villages. Here at Team Trenton headquarters in Leesburg, we had a chance to sit down with Grace and asked her if she regrets that line of questioning. What do you say to people who I know have made the allegation, Nancy
Look at her.
Grace, you had something to do with what Melinda Duckett did?
Those allegations are hateful, they are spiteful, and they're also ridiculous. If I could will someone to commit suicide, believe me, Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein and many, many others would be dead long ago, all right? It's impractical, it's illogical, and it's hateful. So I've tried not to dwell on that and those haters, and to try to focus my energy and my ability, such as it is, toward helping find Trenton Duckett.
So do you have any regrets about that line of questioning?
No, I do not. I only wish that I could have questioned her more.
What do you think? What are your thoughts on this? I wish I could have questioned her more. Do you think that Nancy Grace was really the deciding factor for this girl unaliving herself, or do you think that it was already brewing? Yeah, isn't that wild, Miss Robin? I know, they gone now. Look at Nancy.
Do not. I only wish that I could have questioned her more.
Grace tells us that she will be here until Saturday, casting a national
Pine.
spotlight on this case. Leesburg police say that this coverage just this week has already generated more than 50 new tips from as far away as Texas, and no doubt the spotlight from Grace's show will help generate a lot more.
Well, there you go. Now, here's another piece on the Grace. Then there comes the lawsuit, okay? Now, this is interesting, okay? Now, Miss Nancy Grace, get this. She was deposed in this lawsuit because Melinda's family sued Nancy Grace and CNN because she was on, I think, HLN at that time. Well, Nancy Grace's lawyers filed this. You're going to hear about it, but pay attention because she filed something via her lawyer that her deposition could never be released. Did you hear me? Nancy Grace's deposition is sealed forever in this case. Now, that seems a little sus to me. I want to know what the fuck she was questioned about. Don't y'all? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know because she wants it sealed forever. I want to know what the fuck was in there. Put a 1 in chat if you'd love to hear that, Depo.
Pretenses then subjected her to extreme mental distress. The night before this lawsuit was filed, I interviewed Nancy Grace, who told me her only regret is that she didn't go further. So
listen,
do you have any regrets about that line of questioning?
No, I do not. I only wish that I could have questioned her more.
Nancy Grace, the firebrand and controversial talk show host, denied pushing Melinda Duckett to suicide. Law enforcement was looking at the young Leesburg mother as a person of interest in her son Trenton's disappearance. Duckett claimed strangers kidnapped him. On her show, Grace asked her why she wasn't saying more.
Why aren't you telling us and giving us a clear picture where you were before your son was kidnapped?
Because I'm not going to put those kind of details out.
Why?
Because I was told not to.
Hours after the interview, Duckett shot herself to death. In their lawsuit, Duckett's adoptive parents claimed Grace got her to come on the show under false pretenses, then subjected her to extreme mental distress.
I'm still in a state of shock, and I'm watching this woman banging the table and screaming about, why aren't you telling us this or that? I mean, she was judge, jury, and executioner all in one shot.
Who are these people they're interviewing, for fuck's sake?
On Thursday, Grace is due to be deposed for this suit.
Listen.
This week, her attorneys filed for a protective order asking the judge to ban any parties from releasing video of the deposition. In an ironic twist, they say they need to protect the talk show host from annoyance, embarrassment, and undue harm should the tape be released.
What? You hear that? What the fuck is she doing? What is she hiding in this depo?
The deposition. In an ironic twist, they say they need to protect the talk show host from annoyance, embarrassment, and undue harm.
Annoyance, embarrassment, oppression, and undue harm.
Should the tape be released?
What the fuck? Yes, Bob Saget. Yeah, his whole death investigation file, sealed. His wife got a lawyer, sealed. We'll never know what happened. Yeah, some wild shit, right? And this is Florida. We're the Sunshine State statutes, right? Probably Josh Duckett. I don't know. Can you imagine, Clue? Protecting like this? Holy shit. Maybe the person that was in chat that talks to Melinda's grandparents. I don't even know if Melinda's grandparents are still around. But Melinda's family is the one that filed this lawsuit. So Melinda's family would know. Listen to that again, how shady that shit is. And Clue's right. Can you imagine that happen in 2025? I don't think so.
On Thursday, Grace is due to be deposed for this suit. This week, her attorneys filed for a protective order asking the judge to ban any parties from releasing video of the deposition. In an ironic twist, they say they need to protect the talk show host from annoyance, embarrassment, and undue harm should the tape be released. And yesterday, a federal judge in Ocala signed this order preventing the release of any video.
See that?
Grace is due to be deposed in
a federal judge in Ocala signed it. Look at him. He's like, I can't believe this shit. I'm like, I can't believe this shit in 2025. He's like, I can't believe this shit in 2006. Right?
Should the tape be released? And yesterday, a federal judge in Ocala signed this order preventing the release of any video. Grace is due to be deposed in this case in Atlanta on Thursday. Coming up at 5 o'clock, you'll hear what Grace has to say about the accusation that she actually had something to do with Duckett's suicide.
Suck it. He said suck it.
Accusation that she actually had something to do with Duckett's suicide through this interview.
No, her deposition for the civil lawsuit against her and CNN. Crazy town. So here is one more clip. I know you guys, my old school news and crime enthusiasts will remember the O'Reilly show. Used to watch it nightly. This is the last clip that I have for you guys today.
Doctor, follow-up segment tonight. You may remember CNN host Nancy Grace interviewed 21-year-old Melinda Duckett shortly after her 2-year-old son Trenton disappeared on August 27th. The day after that interview, Melinda Duckett committed suicide. Police now believe Miss Duckett could well have killed her little son and have released her 911 call.
What is Trenton wearing, honey? I don't know. He was ready for bed. You don't know what you dressed him in before you went to bed? He already had his shoes off and or his shirt off. No shoes. And how long has he been gone? I don't know. You don't know? I was watching a movie that was 2 hours long. I had checked on him before anyone came down to the house.
Joining us now from Orlando, Kimberly Schulte, the attorney who represented Melinda Duckett, now represents the families.
Oh, here. This is, what's her name?
Now from Orlando, Kimberly Schulte.
Kimberly Schulte. I'm going to write this down. She was representing Melinda. Kimberly Schulte.
The attorney who represented Melinda Duckett now represents the family's estate.
Now represents the family's estate. So she's Orlando. All right.
Police in Leesburg, Florida. I don't know how to put this, but they say that they could have charged your client before she killed herself, but they didn't, hoping that she would lead them to the child's body. What's your reaction to that?
Well, first of all, if they had the evidence, they should have taken action. And I think that might be a reason for their behavior or lack of action is because they denied her counsel at their first interview. They were informed that I was there, and they refused to allow her to have access to her attorney, even though she requested her attorney. So perhaps that is one reason for them not charging her.
Maybe, but I mean, it makes more sense that not charging her, they had somebody on her, shadowing her, and they were hoping that she would go back to what they believe was the scene of the crime. Police do that all. Now, they also told us that one of the reasons they believe that she may have been involved with the disappearance and perhaps death of the child is that she falsely accused her estranged husband, Joshua, who was on his program, of sending hateful, slur-filled email that threatened to hunt you down and your son down and kill both of you. Police say that Melinda Duckett actually sent this email to herself and then said that the ex-husband or the estranged husband did it. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am, and I spoke with her at the injunction hearing about that and asked her if she had any involvement with that email, and her response was that she did not. And I cautioned her that if she did have any involvement with sending that email, that she needed to be careful because it would come back and bite her hard.
Okay, so she denied
it.
But then the police said, well, take a lie detector test, and you, counselor, advised her not to do so. If there is this pretty damning charge by the police that she sent a threatening email to herself and blamed her former husband, and then a lie detector test would clear that up, why wouldn't you let her take the test?
One, lie detector tests, polygraphs, are not admissible in the state of Florida.
Yeah, but didn't you want to know? Didn't you want to know?
Well, you know, they did know. She was cooperating with the FBI. She was cooperating with Leesburg until the FBI told her not to communicate with Leesburg Police Department anymore because they wanted all the information to come to them, and they felt that they had a better handle on it. So she was
but I mean you. I mean
right.
You as an attorney. Look, you're in an impossible position here. You've got a woman who is unstable. I think we'd all agree that she was. You've got a missing 2-year-old. Well, maybe you wouldn't, but sure looked unstable to me. In the interview with Miss Grace, on the 911 tape, her testimony to the police that we have, it looked like she was pretty unstable. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, wouldn't you be if your 2-year-old son went missing?
Yeah, I would
I'd be very upset.
But I'd like to.
And here's the thing.
If I were an attorney in a case, I'd like to know if my client were telling the truth.
Well, here's the thing. I had made it very clear to Melinda that if she lied to me, that I would no longer represent her. There was an incident
But you
that happened.
couldn't tell.
And she knew that. Correct. And I'm not going to subject my client to a polygraph and subject her to that. It's not admissible. It's not usable. I'm not going to allow her to take it.
Last
and
question.
here's the thing. Please understand, she did not say no to the polygraph. I answered for her.
No, you did.
And
You
the
told her not to
detective-
take it.
Right.
I got it. I got it.
Right.
Now,
No. I told the police officer.
Any word
I told
on
the police officer she wasn't going to take it.
Okay, I got it.
So she did not answer.
I got it.
I got it.
Any word on the 2-year-old?
Here, Trenton, this is what we're talking about, right?
Right.
Okay.
Any
And
word on
also
him?
for Mom? Unfortunately, no. And that's why we're here, is to find this boy. We want to find him, and that's why we're here.
All right, Counselor, and I hope we do. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. When we come.
All right, well, check this out. I went and kind of did a little search, but look at this report from 2010. This is in the Ocala Star-Banner, local news paper. It says here, the settlement between cable show, and if you think back, if they wouldn't have protected Nancy Grace, would that have set a precedence, and would we have the mess on YouTube we have now? I don't know. Is it a far stretch? Listen. The settlement between cable show host Nancy Grace and the estate of Melinda Duckett put the estate's lawsuit to rest. But the deal awakened new questions about the impact the case will have on cable news programming, especially the emotionally charged brand that Grace delivers. The consensus by experts is that the case won't do much to muzzle Grace and may even embolden other talk show hosts to be aggressive with guests. I don't think this case will have a dramatic effect on other broadcast journalists because Nancy Grace operates in a unique realm. She operates as a personality and a prosecutor who uses the news as a basis for a show that is largely entertainment focused. So do you think that it should have been taken more seriously, seeing what you see now with the explosiveness that any of us can sit here and be a Nancy Grace, be aggressive, be this, be that? But the thing that's never changed is that these people have the choice whether to come on the show or not, right? Crazy. Hey, PJ. That could open the door for others. I believe that other talk show hosts at some point will keep pushing this boundary. Almost what you call bullying behavior on the air that might cause someone to snap. This is Clay Cavert, a University of Florida journalism professor who specializes in First Amendment law. After 4 drawn-out years of litigation, the civil battle arising from Duckett's suicide after appearing on Grace's show ended in a draw. CNN established a $200,000 trust to help find Duckett's missing son. For its part, Duckett's family issued an apology to CNN and absolved the network of any responsibility for Melinda's death. And both sides managed to avoid an agonizing jury trial. So her family didn't get anything. They literally got a $200,000 trust, and it ultimately ended up given to the National Missing and Exploited Children. Isn't that wild? Now check this out. I've got one more thing to show you. I lied. To make you laugh. To make you laugh. So, you know how we talked about BJ's ads telling a story? Remember how we talked about that? Oh, I know the badges. Look, isn't that wild? But yeah, like, you know, we say like it's listening, it's watching, everything. I mean, this is my computer. I've only looked at Julia's badges on my computer, not even my phone, right? But take a look at this. Hold on. This will make you laugh. Micro Kimmy, thank you for a year of support. I appreciate you. Okay, so do you see this? Millionaires always win in court. So true. You got money? Yeah. See my little ad? This is from, me. I know I'm getting the... Look, I want to go on a cruise. I want to get some Julia. Look at bail enforcement officer from Galls. I mean, come on, forget about it. But this is the kind of person I am to my animals, right? Because this is what my phone sees me do with my dog. I love on my dog, right? I mean, it's weird. Like, you can just jump into my house. This is your ads. It will show a lot. So when Bullhorn Betty's live, if you pay attention to her ads, like I did last night, this is so ironic that this just came up. Because, see, that's me. See, that's even my dreads. Look, it's even my dreads. Loving on my dog. Oh, that's it then, Clue. It's all through Google. I'm in the same Google account. Makes sense. But check this out. This is Bullhorn Betty's ad from her live yesterday. You're going to love this. You're going to fucking love this. I shit you not. I zoomed in on my TV. I had it up on my TV. This was Bullhorn Betty's ad. You saw one for... No, you did not, Clue. Did you really? Oh, man. Because that shit don't lie, man. That shit don't lie. Me too, Clue. Me fucking too. This was Bullhorn Betty's yesterday. I swear on my life. I swear on my life. That's why I took a picture of it. I died. I died. If that's not fitting. For real, like, you can't make this shit up, man. Fuck. You guys, I freaking love you. I love you. I love our... Look, there's mine. There's my ad. Here's the shopping. Well, now I've got freaking badges because of Julia's ass. I was bitching about my internet yesterday, so I got a Frontier ad. But yeah, I mean, they don't lie. This is proof. Well, Delilah probably bites her because she's a bitch. Oh, man. If these don't tell a story, I don't know what does. Some funny stuff. Some absolute... So keep your eye out for people's ads. BJ's actually in one live told a whole complete story of her life. I'm nosy as fuck too. So we got in one of BJ's lives, we got like a fentanyl ad. We got do you guys remember? It told her life story. It was like fentanyl, ad blocker. I can't remember what else. Oh, beer, Corona. Do you have Dad's beer? What was the other ones? Bullhorn Betty has ads for the weight loss shots. No shit. It's fun to look at that shit. But I saw this cat digging in that leg and I thought, oh, that is fucking perfect. If anything's perfect, it's that. Oh, yeah, work ads to complete work. That's right. The job. Yes, you have, Catherine B. Thank you so much for joining today, hon. Oh, yeah, financial help. hymns, and she still doesn't have premium, y'all. I mean, that's content in itself. Just watching her ads. Cookies exposing everyone in 4K, right? So I don't know, man. I think that some of these cases, especially this Trenton Duckett case, holds a lot of similarities, even though Sebastian was 15 when he disappeared, that, you know, a lot of this is like similar in a way. Hey, green-eyed. But I learned about Merv or Merb. I never knew about Merb. No, she still didn't buy it. Oh, no, Kelly. Last night, BJ's husband asked for a beer on the live, so she clipped it out. He asked their son if he could get his dad a beer. Oh, Lord. Well, just like a week or two ago, her kid came in the room and he was like, Mom, do you have Dad's beer? I know. I was like praying that she wouldn't pay for it, and she didn't. She got paid and she didn't. That's pitiful, Kelly. Pitiful. I can't even imagine. Did you see the Ease video of all of Katie's interviews side by side in order? It's pretty good. No, I didn't. When did they release that? Is that after their live last night or? 99 problems, but premium 8-1. Yeah, she's got a lot of problems, all right. Her second channel. She said tomorrow like 3 nights in a row, yeah. I know, I don't want her to get premium. Don't do it. That's just sick. Maybe it's yesterday. It was the last. It should be the last video they did. Okay, I'll check it out. I'm going to be live tonight sometime. I put it for 8:30, but we'll see. I will watch it, Clue. Thank you. You guys go check out Clue Minotti if you aren't already. I'm going to cut this one off, and I'll see you guys tonight on the other channel. Thank you for joining today. Let's roll our credits. Myron, I know you're there watching. Make yourself known. But thank you for joining today, guys. If you joined the Clicker Clue, oh my God, Clicker Crew, and welcome to the Clicker Club. Recruiters and clickers over here. So everybody have a great day. I will see you guys in the next one. So much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream or video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest content. Want to take it a step further?
Bring it all in.
And join our community clickers by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You'll get exclusive access to our Discord server, special channel perks, and much more. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.
Click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
You and your problems, I don't give a damn. You talk way too much, I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn, damn, 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 damn. You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. I don't give a damn, I don't really care. about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 You're mad at me for not giving you comfort. You say that I'm away so much and now you don't feel the way you felt when we were younger. But that's okay for me, 'cause I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems.